it's Hannah Satropa from Toronto Humane Society, and I am joined today with a beautiful turtle who's 11 years old, guys. Her name is Jojo, and she has been in our care for over 5 years. If you are interested or have a place in your heart or home to give Jojo a space, then feel free to reach us at our website, torontohumanesociety.com, or call us directly. Today, we are so excited. We are joined by our Senior Manager of Client Care and Partnerships, Greg Ratelle, and he's going to be talking to us today, guys, about all the community support programs Toronto Humane Society has to offer, as well as, more specifically, our Pet Parent Support Network. So this is a great interactive database on our website. If you are a pet owner, if you have someone who you know who's in need of services, definitely check out our Pet Parent Support Network on our website. Now, we are going to be chatting with Greg today, but at the end of our conversation, you guys are going to get the opportunity to ask Greg some of your questions. So definitely, while we're going through today, start thinking about some questions to toss in the comment section below. We also are going to have this living on our YouTube page and Facebook for future viewing. So if you are interested in checking that out, if you missed any of today's segment, definitely head on over to our YouTube and our Facebook for that. So we're just going to give it a few more moments here while we let people join, and then we're going to toss it over to Greg. And Jojo's wanting to swim over into someone's forever home, so if you're interested, please head on over to our website. Oh, I think she made a peep on me. Yeah, that's okay. All right, guys, so I think we have enough people on now, so we're going to toss it over to Greg Ratelle. Greg, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Anna.
All right, so the first question is going to be, what is our Pet Parent Support Network, and tell us about how it supports the community?
Yeah, so our Pet Parent Support Network really functions as kind of like a pipeline or as a helpline really for people who just have any questions or concerns or need a degree of support with their pet. So you reach out to us, and we have a team of incredible volunteers and with staff support who are going to field these calls and try to help out with whatever situation that you have going on. There's lots of examples we can get into, but that's really all it is in general, is if you want to make sure that there's pets out in the community, and we want to make sure that people have somewhere to go and someone to turn to when they have questions about, medical care, about training, about grooming, about nutrition. Maybe need some support with a specific case and a specific animal. Maybe it's your pet or your friend's pet or a pet you found on the street, or perhaps wildlife, and all of these types of situations that we may find ourselves in as pet owners or just community members out and about. You may have questions, and you may just want to know where to turn to. And the Pet Parent Support Network is an opportunity for you not just to get those questions answered, but also get those questions answered by some experts and expert resources that we've put together here at Toronto Humane Society, and some of our incredible team members who dedicate their lives studying these things and learning about these things will pass that knowledge on in those cases to kind of help you along with whatever it may be.
Who is the Pet Parent Support Network for?
Yes, so great question. The Pet Parent Support Network is for anyone. It's not targeted at any certain demographic. We want to be here for anyone and everyone. So whether that's Toronto, Ontario, or beyond, we're here to help, and it's really just for anyone who engages with a pet or who has a pet and just needs to get a little bit of advice or support or access one of our programs here at Toronto Humane Society that we have to help along folks.
What type of support can people access?
Yeah, so that's a really great question, and I'd love to dive into that a little bit further. So the Pet Parent Support Network, like I mentioned already, funnels folks to the programs that Toronto Humane Society has in place to help you out in moments where you need help with your pet. So one option might be pet food and supplies. We've all been there and can go through hard times, and maybe we just need help with a little bit of pet food to get us through until maybe the next paycheck, or until whatever is going on in our lives, and to help us out. Or maybe it's some support that you need on an ongoing basis, and you just want to make sure that your pet has access to food at all times, and so you can come down. Toronto Humane Society operates a pet food bank 7 days a week during our operating hours, And you just come down, no questions asked. It's a judgment-free zone. We're not going to inquire about who you are and why you need it. You just come down, let us know what you need, and we're going to help you out with that cat food, dog food, whatever it may be. And on that, when folks come down, they don't have to be shy about just asking for cat food. We don't always have supplies to give out. It is based on what donations we receive, but certainly don't be shy to ask if, hey, do you have an extra bowl? Do you have an extra leash, an extra collar? Maybe your supplies are just getting a bit old and you're not in a position to buy nice new ones. We would love to be able to help you out where we can and when we can. We'll do everything that we can in those moments. So that's just one aspect. Moving on, so some other options would be maybe advice for boarding and advice for pet sitting. Toronto Humane Society doesn't operate a profitable or for-profit boarding program. We offer it in certain circumstances, which I will speak a little bit about after. But our experts have put together some fantastic resources for the types of questions you should be asking yourself when seeking pet sitters, or boarders. Questions that you should be asking these organizations and these folks who are providing the services to get to know a bit about them. Your pet is your family member, and absolutely, you're going to make sure that your family member, your pet, is in good hands whenever you're going away or leaving them with someone else. And our team's going to be able to kind of give you some advice and resources for how to approach those types of things. Other options, maybe not for your pet that you own, but a pet you came across in the community. So perhaps you found a stray cat wandering about your neighborhood, or there's been a stray cat lingering about, trying to get into your home to get some food. What do you do with that? And what's the best thing for this cat? Is it to bring it straight to Toronto Humane Society or another agency, or is this, should you feed this cat? Should you seek medical care? Whatever it may be in the certain circumstances, you may not be certain. And you go through our Pet Parent Support Network, and when you speak with one of our volunteers, they're going to be able to give you that advice and let you know kind of in that circumstance what we think you should do with that stray pet. Same thing with wildlife. So Toronto Humane Society does not engage in the rehabilitation of wildlife, but we can certainly help advise and connect you with some other agencies across Toronto that can do that type of work and can help you out, give you some preliminary advice about what to do. In many cases with wildlife, the best course of action is no course of action, and to leave them be. But we'll help you navigate that situation and listen to what's going on and try to get you from point A to point B. Check my notes, don't forget anything. The next thing too is dog walking. So similar to the same lines of pet sitting and boarding, dog walking is something that if you're working a full-time job or you're in a situation where your life brings you outside of your home for extended periods throughout the day, you're going to want some information about dog walking. Toronto Humane Society currently doesn't offer dog walking services. However, like boarding, we can provide advice to you and give you the tools and, again, the questions that you're going to want to ask to dog walkers to understand how they're going to care for your pet while they're with them, and how they're going to engage with you and the process through dog walking, going in your home, all these different types of things. So that's also an option. And then a few others. So one I want to go back to is on the boarding is our urgent care program. Our urgent care program is the boarding that Toronto Humane Society does, and it has some really cool implications and impacts for community members who access it. So our urgent care program, in collaboration with some partner organizations, serves to help people out when they're going through some pretty significant life changes and matters that may put folks in a position where they have to choose between staying with their pet, caring for their pet, and giving them what they need versus perhaps leaving an abusive situation or leaving for medical care or some sort of mental health treatment or whatever it may be. And those are decisions we don't want to see people making. So our urgent care program was designed so that these folks in these circumstances have somewhere that they can trust for their pet to go. So people can leave their pets with us through this program for up to a year, and we're going to help care for them. They would be in a foster home during this period, so we certainly wouldn't want them. As great as our facility is and the amount of work we do to care for our animals, it's not a home. So these pets would be cared for in one of our experienced foster homes, get all that love and TLC that they would normally have, and allow for the pet guardian to actually go and take care of what they need to do in their own lives, and until they can kind of are back in a position where they're stable and can bring their animal back home from us. It's a really cool thing, and it gets me excited to talk about that one. The last couple of avenues of support that I definitely want to hit on, first is our training services. So, if you have an animal at home, I'm sure there's been a time in your life you thought, oh boy, I need to do some training in some way, shape, or form. And not just dogs, absolutely cats and small domestics as well. And, so reach out to our Pet Parent Support Network and, get some information about what training courses are out there and what Toronto Humane Society has to offer. Our training program is led by Beverly McKee, who I think if you joined her live session a few weeks back, you would have gotten to know, but she is absolutely incredible, and the team of trainers that work alongside her are phenomenal, and they're all certified professional dog trainers. Bev sits on the board of the IAABC, which is the International Association of Applied Behavior Consultants, and it's just incredible the work they can do, not just for the animals in our facility, but also the animals in the community and with training clients and people out there who need some help, just with basic obedience, maybe with some more challenging problems such as petting aggression in cats or separation anxiety in dogs and different things, and the results are often really impressive with what they do. So Toronto Humane Society's training programs, we're offering them all virtually up until I think just next week or the week after. We're going to be slowly incorporating some on-site stuff again now, and nonetheless the quality is amazing, whether virtual or on-site. They're going to be able to help you out and get you a really good plan to train your pet and work with them on whatever it is that you're hoping for them to learn. The last support mechanism I can think of right now is our public veterinary services. So our public veterinary service clinic has been running for, I think, about a decade now in different capacities. And right now it's really cool because we're open 7 days a week for folks. So we have that flexibility. And we run a diverse array of services through there. So things like our wellness services, such as having your animal microchip. That's the little chip that is embedded in animals, so that if they go missing, we can scan them and reconnect animals with their owners. Vaccinations, of course, or shots. Deworming, preventative heartworm treatments, and as well as I feel like I'm forgetting something on the wellness. And anyway, so that's our wellness. And then moving on to, we also offer surgical procedures through the public veterinary clinic. So, of course, spay or neuter. If your animal is at home, haven't had this procedure, certainly something to reach out to us for. And, go through the Pet Parent Support Network. They can give you some information about our public vet services to get your animal spayed or neutered. And then also, in addition to spay and neuter surgeries, we also offer dental procedures. So dental cleaning, dental extractions, and all of these different types of things. So through the public veterinary clinic, we do also support deeper discounts on our already what we try to position as affordable and reasonable costs. We offer deeper discounts for those who are on ODSP, GIS, or other sort of government supplemented incomes. And if you are an individual who engages with those government programs, you let us know. We're going to work with you to make sure that we can get it discounted to a point that you can afford. We want to make sure that folks are coming and getting the vet care that their pets need, and we're trying to make it as accessible as possible through our programs there in our public veterinary clinic. and through the PPSN you can access more information about these types of things. On the public vet clinic, there are some limitations. We can't do it all. So we are not a full service vet clinic. So if there are things going on where you've got some injuries or some other kind of major health concerns in your pet that's going to require ongoing care, it's not going to be the best platform for you, but we still encourage you to reach out. And we always want to try to find ways to help where we can. And, whatever situation is going on, we always consider it. We'll always have a look into it, and we'll always try to compassionately and empathetically, help as best as we reasonably can here.
And Greg, what makes this support line, this program, so unique? And why is it so effective? How is it helping people every single day?
Yeah, great question. So I've touched on it already a little bit, but the reason it's so unique is because of the expertise that's behind the content that goes into this program and the information that will be passed along to folks who reach out to us. I already talked about Bev, who is just various accolades in the behavior world for animals and her training experience, and the team of certified professional dog trainers that work alongside her, and the incredible work they do. If you followed our live sessions, you would have heard from Melissa Shupak, again, certified professional dog trainer, who oversees our shelter programs and everything that happens here. Extending beyond training, though, we have a whole bunch of other experts in-house who have contributed to the content that you access through the Vet Parent Support Network. So, multiple DVMs who have various designations in shelter medicine. One of our veterinarians sits on the board of the Association of Shelter. I'm forgetting the acronym. The AASAO. And then our RVTs who have special trainings in things like nutrition and rehabilitation. So just like you get physiotherapy on your leg if you're an athlete or whatever it may be, we do physiotherapy on our pets here, as well here at the Toronto Humane Society. Going above and beyond that, we have vets who are fellowships in shelter medicine and have just been across North America and beyond, learning different things, collaborating with different experts. We have Dr. Ellis, who is a behaviorist, and I think only one of a few in Canada who has contributed a lot to the enrichment and welfare of our shelter programs and our shelter animals, but as well as developing content for the Pet Parent Support Network. So folks that are listening today can go and access and get that information from our experts. The other piece on that, and why I think the Pet Parent Support Network really is like no other network out there or program out there, is because of the dedicated volunteers and the team that we have doing it. It truly is a community-run program for the community, and that's what's really neat about it is the volunteers that we have volunteering their time for this program are just some of the most compassionate, empathetic, non-judgmental, and just genuinely, caring people that I've ever had a pleasure to meet and work with here. And I promise you, when you get on the phone with them, you'll get that same kind of feeling from them, because they truly do care, they truly do want to help, and they're going to take the time to make sure that they listen to what's going on in your specific situation. Really take note of the questions that are being asked, and work hard to dig through the information that they have on hand and all of these expert resources to get you the information you need on whatever is happening. So for those two reasons, I'd say, it really is a program that's like no other.
And Greg, when did the program launch? Is it a new program? Is it an old program? And how has it been going since its inception?
Yeah, so the Pet Parent Support Network launched in May of 2020. So quite a precarious time to be kicking things off. It wasn't due to COVID that this program was launched, but it is certainly highlighted the importance of something like this, with our world shutting down and, all of this unknown kind of being thrust into our lives. you know, pet ownership and love and caregiving is just another aspect of that. You know, can I go see my vet? What do I do? Are these facilities for, you know, that I would normally go to open? Are they functioning in the same manner? And while we may have a bit more of a grasp on that these days, certainly then I think it was really telling to us the importance of just making sure folks have a great place to go and have a key resource that they know is going to be the best advice for them. So since May of 2020, it's been going really well, and you know, we've been happy to see lots of folks in the community actually reaching out to us and accessing the expertise that we have to give. So I think in the first 6 months that we did the Pet Parent Support Network program, in the first 6 months from May, we fielded about 500 to 600 requests, which I thought was pretty cool. And you know, helped out those folks where we could, and you know, gave them advice on every situation. And now, flash forward a little bit, in the last 6 months, pretty much up until today, we've seen over 1,600 requests come through that line. So you know, just almost threefold, and it's really neat. You know, the team of volunteers that we started with has now grown and I think doubled at this point. And you know, so to accommodate those calls, we're continuing to grow, and we hope that we can continue to get the message out there moving forward. So you know, if we're chatting here again on social media in 6 months, I can say again, hey, you know, we've done 3,000 in the last 6 months, 4,000, whatever it may be. We really want people to reach out to us and engage with us, and just you know, from our end, know that, you know, in these circumstances that people are dealing with these pets of their own or in the community, they're getting the best advice and they're taking the best kind of course of action forward. And yeah, so it's good.
That's amazing. Those numbers are just incredible to hear about, you know, how many people are reaching out to a reliable source, because as we know, there's so much information out there. So it's so important that you have a reliable source. What if, I'm sure there's circumstances where we aren't able to assist or provide resources. So what happens when Toronto Humane Society isn't able to help? What happens then?
Yeah. So, you know, that's a good question. I think the help is, depends on the nature of how you view it. Like, we will always help in some way, shape, or form, whether that's quick advice or just being an empathetic ear to listen. But, you know, not, there isn't necessarily a program that we can offer in every certain circumstance. So we make sure at Toronto Humane Society to maintain a lot of collaborative relationships with various partners out in the community who can help either guide folks or lend their services and programs there as well. So we can kind of make referrals on whatever circumstances may be. But it also works the other way as well. You know, we collaborate with partnership agencies in vulnerable communities and at various shelters and different centers across the GTA, where folks can, you know, be referred to our services, and we can help them out as well. So, you know, we always try to help where we can. We're going to find ways to help and go outside the box, to get creative to do it. You know, where we can. But we always make sure to maintain collaborative relationships with other agencies and, you know, other, you know, clinical practices across the GTA and different things like that. So, you know, we really do kind of have a village to support folks who come in and are asking for help from us.
That's amazing. So last question here for you, Greg. Can you remind our viewers, for those who might be able to utilize this program, how they can access it, where they can find it, and basically the how-to? How do you access the Pet Parent Support Network?
Yeah, awesome. So the Pet Parent Support Network is set up right now as a form through our website. So if you visit TorontoHumaneSociety.com, you're going to click through, and through our programs, you're going to see as a heading the Pet Parent Support Network. Once you hit that landing page, there's a button for you to submit a form to us. In that form, again, we're not here to you know, get to know your personal details or pass judgment for anything like that. It's just a really quick form for us to get your phone number so we can call you, your name so we know who you're talking to, and then some selections for us to have a bit of a sense of what category or what kind of concern or questions you're reaching out to us for. So after that submission is made, you can expect a call fairly shortly afterwards. In best times, we can get back to you, within the hour after submission. Sometimes it may take a few hours, or depending on when you submit it, maybe early in the morning the next day or whatever it may be. But one of our volunteers will then call you to discuss, and you'll be able to explain everything in detail then. So yeah, TorontoHumaneSociety.com, Pet Parent Support Network. You're going to see a link to fill out that form. Hit that button, and you should be able to go through it there yourselves. With that said, though, of course, if you don't have access to a computer or smartphone or internet or whatever it may be, you can always call us anytime and speak to one of our reps in the call center, and they can kind of coordinate a call back for you from our Pet Parent Support Network team. So if you need to call us, number is 416-392-2273. You're going to land on the main operator line, and you'll get through to someone, and they'll help you out.
And Greg, can you tell us a little bit about some of the other community support programs that we have, aside from PPSN? I know we have a pet food bank. Can you talk about how that supports the community as well?
Yeah, so the pet food bank specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I talked earlier about the pet food bank that we operate at Toronto Humane Society at our facility. Folks can come down and get food from us, no questions asked, no judgment, nothing at all there, and we'll help you out. And but beyond that, we also do collaborate with a bunch of other agencies across Toronto and the GTA, and frankly across Ontario, where we distribute food in larger volumes to these different agencies. So sometimes there's some of our partners who have shelters and respite centers and different places in the vulnerable communities, and we'll get food there just for people who do bring their pets to those facilities, can grab that while they're there. We have done, prior to COVID, historically, a lot of work with St. Jamestown Center and setting up there and doing a monthly food bank there. We've distributed large amounts of food just through various rescues and different animal agencies, as well as, the Daily Bread Food Bank and other kind of bigger players in the human food bank areas. These groups are starting to recognize and really see the need that folks not only need to feed themselves, but also their pets. And, in our experience, we often see people who will feed their pets before they feed themselves. And we want to make sure that access to pet food is not leading people to having to make those decisions. So, yeah.
That's amazing, Greg. So another question for you. What types of resources does the PPSN connect you to? What type of resources do they offer? I know you touched a little bit on training and the pet food bank, but just so someone can get a taste or tangibly of what they might experience as a result of the PPSN.
Yeah. I was talking a bit about kind of the different categories, or the 7 different categories and umbrellas of support that people can reach out for. Within each of those, though, there's just dozens and dozens of documents and published materials that our experts have put together that we can pass along to you and for you to read. So training, for example, it is just a mammoth section in our Pet Parent Support Network manual where you name the behavior, you name the concern, it's going to be in there as an info sheet, and it's going to be something that was developed with the best and not just best, but through positive reinforcement only training and fear-free approaches, really the best practice for training in those certain circumstances. Same thing, we were talking about the advice and literature on how to choose a boarder, how to choose a pet sitter, how to choose a dog walker, what questions asked, things like that. Maybe you're at a position where you need to consider relinquishing your pet. One of the toughest decisions in the world to make, and there's going to be information there. Maybe you want to access Toronto Humane Society's programs, and we'll help you through our facilitated adoption network rehome your pet for you and do kind of that legwork while your pet stays in your home. But on the flip side, alternatively, maybe you want to do it yourself, and maybe you just want some advice on, hey, how can I rehome my animal responsibly by myself, and not have to worry about my beloved pet ending up with someone that may not be appropriate or love him as much, or even worse yet, in a dangerous situation. And we'll be able to give you some documents and some information on how to go about doing that. That's to name a few off the top of my head. The manual is an absolute beast of information that's been put together, and it's if there's a question out there, there's going to be an answer in there.
That's brilliant. Now, I guess we can tease it a little bit, but the UC manual is going to be launching mid-August, guys. So for any rescues that are tuned in, other animal welfare organizations, we have a 40-page workbook so that you know how to implement your very own urgent care program. Kind of going back to the beginning, going back to our roots here, Greg, maybe you should ask at the beginning, but what actually is the human-animal bond? Is this just a trend word, or is there actual science-based evidence that makes it so powerful?
Fantastic question. How did I gloss over that? So the human-animal bond is something that we talk a lot about here at Toronto Humane Society, and it's a buzzword, and it's becoming more of a buzzword, and it's getting thrown around all of the time. And you can infer what it is. It's that bond we have with our animals. It's that love you have, that unconditional, just feelings of compassion and care for your pet. But we don't always think of it in the flip as well, but also that bond that pet has to us. They look up to us, they spend time with us, and we're their caregivers, and they love us so much. And this human-animal bond has been getting studied more and more in literature and in science, and a lot of work is happening to just further understand what the actual ramifications are of having this bond. What are the physiological signs, and what kind of emotions and physical responses do humans have in engaging and having a bond with our pets, and vice versa. How does it benefit the pet and the pet's welfare, and how they see their life, and from their lens, and how their well-being kind of endures over the years. So looking at the human-animal bond as a very kind of objective sciencey thing is really cool that it's happening in this day and age, and we're seeing more research about it. And that really does bleed into why the Pet Parent Support Network exists. It all does circle back to the human-animal bond. All of these support programs, all of the information that you can get from it is just serving to further strengthen the bonds that are out there in the community. The last thing we want to see here are our pets come to our facility. We pride ourselves on operating world-class enrichment programs, and medical care and training care for our pets. But like I said earlier, a facility like an animal shelter is not a home. And when we have pets in the home who already have this real strong human-animal bond with their guardian, the last thing we want to do is see that severed and see those animals come to us. So we want to make sure that we have these options out there for the people to reach out to us.
And Greg, you touched a little bit about why it's important that we keep these bonds and we see them flourish and we find ways to protect them. Why is it so important to protect existing bonds? Is it a lot more challenging to create new bonds?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Hannah. It takes a lot of time to build a bond with a pet in many circumstances, and certainly some pets more than others. It can be really challenging. We do see a lot of success in running our rehoming and adoption programs, and seeing new folks take home a new pet who was with an old family, and that bond grows and grows and grows over the years. But I think that's the key thing. It is over the years, and when those bonds do get severed, it can have some pretty dramatic, physiological as well as psychological ramifications for the pet. And seeing them go through that and lose their family can be difficult. On the flip side, though, for people, I mean, if you've ever lost a pet, you know exactly how that feels when you lose your pet, and lose that family member and the feelings and the physical feelings, the emotional feelings that come alongside that. So it's really essential to keep those bonds intact that already exist, and start finding more ways to continue to strengthen them and ensure that they don't dissipate over time.
That's wonderful, Greg. Now, officially, my last question. We are curious to know, Greg, if you are not someone who can utilize the PPSN network, how can you still support this program? Is there other ways that you can support it through monetary donations or otherwise?
Yeah, of course. I think one of the best ways you could support the Pet Parent Support Network is just letting folks know, sharing the message on social media, through word of mouth, whatever it may be. It's important that, people know it's there. Like, we're doing this today, or at least one of the reasons I'm doing this today is that I want people to know that, we are here to help. This program exists. And, if people don't know it exists, they don't know it exists, and they're not gonna know where to turn to ask questions. They may end up on Google. They may end up on, getting some sources that aren't the best way to do things and aren't the, scientifically proven ways that we should approach these circumstances. Certainly supporting us. Maybe you want to volunteer and become part of the Pet Parent Support Network, our program. We are constantly expanding and hoping we'll be continuing to use more and more over the coming weeks, months, and years. And we would love to see you guys reach out and see how you can get involved from a volunteer basis, and of course donations. Toronto Humane Society, we are run solely based off of donations, and every dollar goes a long way to helping the animals here, and from the sake of the Pet Parent Support Network, not just helping the animals here, but helping the animals in the community and ensuring that these animals don't come.
Well, Greg, that is amazing. Thank you so much for your time today. We are out of time now, guys, so we don't have time for the Q&A. But if you guys do have questions below, if you didn't get a chance to ask them during the live, please feel free to add them in the comments section. You can also reach us directly here at Toronto Humane Society by calling us or emailing us, and someone will be sure to respond to you. I want to thank everybody who tuned in today, who engaged, and thank you, Greg, for your incredible information and sharing it with all of the public members, our animal-loving community. Again, guys, you know where to find us if you're looking to adopt, if you're looking to shop. We have our apparel online. If you're looking to donate, if you want to get involved, you know where to find all that information. It's right on our website, torontohumanesociety.com. We'll see you guys very soon for something similar to this soon. And have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. Bye.